Hi, this is Nick. I'm going to show you how to connect data in Alpine IQ and how to modify it going forward, especially for acquisitions or things of that nature, or if you want to switch vendors. We'll go through all of that. So typically the first step when you sign up with Alpine IQ is our team is going to take you through how to connect your data, make sure we get the right credentials, make sure we pull it in correctly because there's all sorts of data points that might merge differently based on your setup. So make sure you get in contact with our team. But if you're wanting to look at this alone or you have a new process you'd like to run, feel free to watch this video and I'll show you how to work things. So there's a couple tabs at the top here. We have data sources, extensions, and destinations. So data sources is where we're going to be pulling information from. It's going to be your main sources of integration. So I can pull from any of these items on the page: point of sales, data lakes, marketing tools, you name it. So I'm going to go in here and you can see all these different options. I'm going to go to LeafLogix and I'm going to hit connect. So the first thing, we're going to require that these people have passed age gate, which is obviously the case with point of sale because they wouldn't be in your store otherwise. And then there's this next phase here, which is send an SMS double opt-in request if a contact with a phone number is synced from this source after date. So what we typically do is we let you set your opt-ins for SMS channels due to GCPA and how tight-knit that whole channel is for a marketing perspective. We have to get double opt-ins. But some of those sources you might not want to actually try to opt in people for SMS. Like maybe you're not actually getting the consent to use their phone number for marketing, and therefore you should not be sending them messages, right? But you still want to ingest them for your data lake and maybe use them downstream later when they do opt in or something of that nature. So you can set these on a per integration basis. That, okay, if someone comes in and they check out on LeafLogix, they have a phone number on their account, or I add one at that time, as long as it's after the 21st, or as long as they come back and make an order, basically, because they would be ingested again from this integration after this date, then I want to send them an opt-in request that says, hey, we have your phone number, reply wire yes if we can text you, essentially, right? You can say whatever you want. But that's how the date picker works. So you can go as far back in time as you want. Like let's say you have 20,000 phone numbers that you've been collecting for 6 months. You verbally asked if they'd like to give you your phone number and you want to send them a double opt-in request. You could go back 6 months, hit connect. It'll look at all the orders that happened in that 6 month span that had phone numbers and it'll blast them out an opt-in message. So it does work historically. Then you might have this toggle, and by the way, every integration has their own toggles based on how that integration works, but these are the standard ones. So then, let's say I want to move from LeafLogix or turn it off for a minute or anything like that. Then I can just come in here and toggle use Alpine's last backup as the source's data, and it'll basically freeze the integration so you don't lose anything. And then you can just save again with the connect button. Then you can go add another integration, another point of sale that you're maybe moving to or you're trying out or whatever. You can turn that one on, and then your analytics and everything will still roll up from all your historical data, your new point of sales, your new tools, all that kind of thing. So you just put in your credentials per store, store name and key, add credential, and you just do that for each credential that the provider gives you. Last setting here, sync contacts. Enabling this will make Alpine sync the most complete version of contact records across hubs and between integrations. So if you have several hubs across provinces or states or multiple point of sales, you want to turn on sync contacts because as somebody comes in and signs up through a MailChimp form for your loyalty program, you want that user to be synced into all hubs on point of sales so that when they walk in, they can just start their transaction, their customer record's already there. You don't have to ask them for their phone number. You don't have to ask them for anything. Like they're in loyalty and it's ready to go. So highly recommend turning on sync contacts. If you update a phone number or an email or a name inside of the point of sale for that customer record, we'll read that in, right? And then we'll go figure out if that needs to be merged with any other accounts with similar contact details, and then we'll merge them together. Points will be taken care of correctly. We'll log the merge, and then you can go about your way. So very, very powerful feature to make sure your data network is always clean, concise. Everybody has clean copies of a customer record across all of your integrations. So sync contacts is really like a destination push of data, but it's part of the integration checkboxes here just because of the way certain integrations work that we have to sync contacts from here. If there's bigger pushes happening on, generally there'll be leaf logics here and then also a destination. So a good example is MailChimp is a data source and it's a destination that you can select on audiences to push down audience downstream into those tools. So I can connect MailChimp here. You can see I can add list IDs, set a permissions reminder on why they're getting emails from MailChimp. And then once connected, I can just go into my audiences, create an audience, and then say, I want to send this exact audience with this name downstream to MailChimp every couple of hours and sync the contact records. Keep in mind that there are certain limits to different integrations. Like MailChimp, they have pricing based on how many audiences you can have in MailChimp. So you want to make sure that if you're sending 50 plus audiences from Alpine into MailChimp, that you have the right pricing plan on that platform to allow that to actually occur. So just something to keep in mind. So destinations are going to be things like Dutchie, doing abandoned cart stuff, iHeartJane, programmatic advertising platforms, card manufacturers for loyalty programs, databases. Extensions are going to be things to help extend your data that you're pulling in. So let's say that you don't scan driver's licenses in Canada, but you would like to get a general idea of the gender of each customer and then prioritize messaging based on that, or products that you want to deliver, things of that nature. You can turn on the gender data extension. It's going to look at names in a name to gender database. And then if they have high confidence scores, it'll not override a previously saved gender on a contact record, but it will add one to ones that are missing, assuming the confidence score that is their gender is high enough to do so. Geocoding, this is going to take all of your address information and turn it into latitude and longitudes, and then that lets you bullet point people on heat maps so that you can say, I want to look at my customer lifetime value over $600 customers, yada, 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 and then boom, it'll map all those people on a map so that you can understand M&A opportunities, where to open stores, where there might be a market segment you could market to in the physical world with billboards targeting specific brands, products, or categories. And then you have Slack here. So this is going to roll up all your enterprise stats every day and then ship them off to a Slack channel. So you don't have to log in every day to get stats that are important to you. It'll also deliver scheduled report links to that Slack channel. Again, these are all extensions. Data sources are here. And then on the homepage, it's really good to be able to see this, but on the homepage, if you scroll down, there's this data network here. So once you have your integrations all set up and connected, you have connected sources. You can see all of them lined up here. And then you can see in the last 24 hours, this connection sourced 5 new users versus the trees connection sourced 114. Lifetime, how many have they sourced? How many audiences are those pumping into after they're cleaned and consolidated? All that data goes into audiences that is sorted and sifted after they're deduped, right? And then that process for identity resolution, for merging customers, syncing them back to integrations, all that kind of stuff, you can see this timer on this page for when that next process is going to happen. So in about 5 minutes, it'll do that again, and then it'll push everything downstream and sync it up. Audiences, people falling into audiences, updates a lot faster. It's like 10, 15 minutes max on large audiences. And those customers get pushed into here. So it's a little bit different than the identity resolution process that runs, but we'll cover that in a different video. All right. Thank you.